what kind of kilt outfit is appropriate for a wedding, and are there rules for weddings?
There aren't really rules for weddings outside
really.
of the rules you set yourself. It's all kind of an artificial construct to a degree. Are there rules for a party? Think of it that way. What type of outfit is appropriate is completely up to you and your beloved. If you want to have a more casual type wedding, an outfit like Eric has on there, Highland shirt, kind of relaxed, casual look, all the way up through Prince Charlie, formal bow tie, that kind of thing. A very a newer kind of trend in Scotland is tweeds. Tweed is the new black, so to speak. So a lot of people are wearing tweed jacket and vest with, toned with the kilt color, either matching hose to the tweed or to a color in the kilt, and finding a lot of success with that. It's still dressing up and being smart, but it's a little bit trendy-ish with a timeless element. I don't know how to...
Well, I think let me back up a tiny bit. I think that what this gets back to some degree is what you're going to wear as the groom or groomsman even is going to depend on the overall theming of the wedding. We've experienced that basically there's basically three major categories of a kind of a wedding in terms of formality. There's like the backyard homebrew wedding, which can be very, very casual. There's a kind of a daytime casual wedding. And then there's the high formal wedding, which is more likely to be in a church or a similar venue that has a lot of pomp and circumstance to it. And so what you're going to choose for your wedding outfit is really going to be based on the feel of the overall event. I mean, if you guys want to feel like you're in Victorian, Edinburgh, having a regal experience, then you're going to go for a more formal outfit. If you're doing like a homebrew backyard pagan wedding or something, then you're going to do something a lot more casual, or even a heavy theme like a Renaissance wedding or something where you do the great kilt. It really depends on the context of what's going to bring you and your bride joy, essentially. So the tweed thing, I think, is where the trend now is to go more for the day, smart, casual feel. I think there's a sense that doing the high formal, like we're used to thinking about, is stuffy. So I think tweed has become popular in Scotland because black formal Prince Charlie and stuff, it's been kind of done for a long time now, and I think younger people feel it's stuffy and not as natural feeling.
I would agree with this caveat. There's a lot of blurring of lines between those three.
Absolutely.
Meaning when you say high formal, I'm thinking like Sheriff Muir, Jabot, or like something crazy over the top, and especially when you reference Victorian Scotland. So for me, there's definitely more of a sliding scale with maybe three main type of options.
Yeah, they're definitely not watertight compartments. I'm just saying that you want to think about the gestalt of your event before you decide on your outfit.
Yeah, like for instance, for my wedding, I wore this kilt. This is the Scott green weathered tartan. I wore this tartan with a black argyle jacket and a gray necktie. So it wasn't high formal, but it wasn't tweed. It was kind of in the middle there. So that's my only caveat, is that there are different stages within the three main pillars.
I agree, and so we could almost call it four pillars in a way. And I think
27 if you want.
Yeah, how granular do you want to get?
Yeah.
I think in the States, what you did would be considered very formal.
Not very formal, but formal-ish.
Yeah,
because it wasn't like a tuxedo. Kind of thing.
Okay. And I think that people are more likely to go with something like what we consider to be traditional high formal, like Sheriff Muir's and Montrose doublets and all that kind of stuff, if they're going for more of an antique look, like I was alluding to,
right?
For a Victorian or Edwardian or 18th century kind of a look. It's
a
more
period.
A period piece, more of a romantic kind of a thing. Right. I think the other thing is, and this is a tangent, I'll admit, is I think that the rental industry in Scotland has realized that they will make more money by offering more options and changing things up a little bit. So they are a fashion industry. They don't move as fast as a regular fashion industry does, but if they can change the design a little bit, say, hey, this is what's really in this year, then maybe they can make more profit.
Yes and no. I agree and disagree. I think they are led by the consumer more than they are leading the consumer.
Okay.
Point being, if I'm a rental company or a hire company, I don't want to have to buy 500 new tweed jackets.
True.
That's
True.
a huge expense. I'd rather just kind of tick along with the Charlies forever. That being said, as the pipe bands go, then kind of goes the rest of the Highland wear, trend wise. So I think there was definitely a leaning towards tweeds and toward more natural colors, not just black. And as they start getting more requests, they realize that, like in the beginning of the wave, so to speak, as they get a few requests for it, they realize, okay, this is going to be, the smart ones realize this is going to be a trend. Let's get in front of it. Let's offer this, and then we'll be able to get more business in the short term until all the rental companies start doing it.
Gotcha.
Because as the groom comes in and says, I really want a tweed, and company X, Y, and Z only offer black, like Argyles or PCs, then they have to go to me. But as all the companies start offering tweeds, then it becomes, A, it becomes more of a thing. B, my particular company is less special at that point because more people offer it.